Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Academy Review, and joining me, as always, is my good friend, Mr. David Pritt. How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good, considering went to the Paddock game and we only drew 2-2.
Right, seriously. Are you Stephen Howson? Right, 7 seconds into the video, you're talking about Paddock FC. We're here to talk about Manchester United, right? If you want to know about Paddock FC, go and watch Paddock FC channel, right? If you want to watch about Man United, come watch us. Anyway. You're excited, the pubs are opening, aren't they?
Oh.
You care about that sort of thing, don't
What
you?
time we finish?
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday, by the way. So yeah, you'll be going to the Stevenson Square, is it?
No, I think I'm gonna go back local.
Oh, yeah, where's local for you?
Northern.
Northern.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your jabs. Right, anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to the Academy. We're starting with the under-23s, I believe.
That's right. We played West Ham on Friday night at home. We had a few players who went out to the Granada game, you know, as a standby on the bench. Bishop in goal, Brandon Williams and Anthony Elanga, and they all started. And then we also had players like Shoretire, who's been part of the first team play. Galbraith's still suspended because of his sending off, which was, you know, I didn't see it, but he was never sending off.
He was never sending off. I didn't see it either, but it's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life, or not seen.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But first off, it was a bit. We had most of possession, but we didn't really do much with it. No final ball. Maybe no Memra, and he had a couple of half chances, maybe, but it went into half time 0-0. Not really looking like we were going to do much, and the same with West Ham. And then it all kind of changed second half. Brandon Williams came off. I think that's just the part of it is now because he's a first team player. He just wants a bit of minutes, so they say, "Oh, you play at half and come off."
Fair enough.
Yeah, he came off, and then in the 49th minute, Fernandez give it to Emeran. He has a shot that's blocked, and then Hannibal gets in the box. A little Vermazy run in the box, has a shot that gets blocked back to Fernandez, who then pings it over to the back post, and then Mark Helms there on the volley blasts it through the keeper for 1-0. Nice goal, really, considering the way Hannibal ran through everyone, and Fernandez, got it in twice, and he's looking good from that position, left back position, where he can get the ball in. And yeah, we went 1-0 up. Mark Helm can't argue really. He's not a headline player, but he does get a few goals. Mark Helm, yeah, I'm a big fan of him. But then we just Anthony Elanga. I don't know what I can say about him. He scores more or less the same goal when he scores. It's
really
phenomenal.
what is it? What type of goal? How is it? The goal?
He's on the left wing.
Right.
He picks it up.
Yeah.
He runs down the left wing.
Yeah.
Then gets as far as he goes, and then goes, "Oh, the goal's that way."
Yeah.
So he turns right.
Yeah.
Goes past all the players that way,
Yeah.
and then pings it in the top corner every time. It's honestly, if you. There must be someone who's good. You can put a compilation of his goals side by side. All his goals are very similar, and they're brilliant. Very. You know, like when Ronaldo used to come in and that Cristiano, when in the early days for us, and he used to come in and have a shot, kind of like that, but Elanga scores them all the time.
Yeah, Ronaldo, when he came in and he used to do that, he used to do lots of step overs, didn't he, and have a shot. It invariably didn't go in. But then, obviously, he went on to bigger things. So Elanga
2-0
doing his trademark goal.
And considering he flew back from Spain the previous day, and then he's playing 90 minutes, scoring a goal.
Just signed a new deal as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he first came back because he's been injured with his shoulder injury. When we played Leicester away earlier in the season, he fell and damaged his shoulder. They had to even cut the shirt off, which was sacrilege for me. I mean,
yeah, they think Wayne Rooney.
Exactly. But he's looking like he's not been away. He's just top player. And we're 2-0 up. World at our feet, and then
The world's your oyster.
Mipo Debeko, have you ever heard of him?
Obviously, who hasn't?
A former United academy player.
Former,
yeah.
Who's he playing for now? For them,
West Ham.
Disgusting.
I think he actually played. He might have made his first team debut for West Ham as well against us when we played at Old Trafford. I think.
Well,
He
listen.
didn't do much. I think if you remember right,
West Ham, they call it the Academy of Football. It's just the Manchester United Academy nowadays.
If I remember rightly, I think he was subbed on.
Yeah.
And then they subbed him off towards the end.
Well, that's a confidence booster from David Moyes there.
Yeah, that's right. So they put him in the 23s against us, and it was the right. He did well, to be honest.
Yeah.
First.
I thought you were going to call him a name then.
No, I won't call anyone names.
That's what I was to say. It's not like you.
He has a nice shot. Really, comes off the post. Keeper maybe could have done better, a bit of position. He was a bit blindsided by it, but it was a nice strike. And then, not long after, 10 minutes or so, he scores another cracking goal for 2-2. I'm just like then just thinking, right, get to the 90th minute, let's keep it steady.
Yeah.
No. Low and hard shot by Odebeko in third minute of injury time. And they win it 3-2 and he scores a hat-trick.
I think we need to have a word with this lad. Remind him of a little thing called loyalty. Yeah? That you want to go find football. It's not about scoring hat-tricks against your former club. The club that loved you and nurtured you, made you the player you are today. Disgusting behaviour.
It was disappointing, but the second half I thought we played all right, to be honest. I mean, once they got their first goal, they got back into it a little bbit more and they looked all right, but it is what it is.
Are you concerned, Dave, about the lads come in and got a hat-trick? Did we let him go too soon, or did he just want to leave because he wasn't going to get a chance? Is this a mistake, or is he just had a player's had a good game who probably wasn't good enough for Manchester United?
I wouldn't say he wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
he was, for our academy. But I think the structure that we've got, the way we've brought certain players in, like the Hugills and McNeils, there wasn't really a place for him. So he's got his trade somewhere else, and he's fair play to him. Got a hat trick against United.
Yeah, all joking aside, youngster, obviously I don't like seeing players score against us, but well done. Didn't want you here, but you're here anyway, so well done.
Yeah, we made him score that hat trick. We taught him.
That's what we do for West Ham. We just give them players that score goals for him. Do you know what I mean? At all levels.
Yeah. How's it go? Like this, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Is that it? I don't know.
So disappointing defeat, but. All in all, performance-wise, I thought some of our players were well. The highlight, obviously, Anthony Elanga. I mean, without his injury, I'm pretty sure he'd have been the name on the academy player to play for the first team. Like when
been in the squad, a couple of times, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, he was like in the squad for Granada, but for me, he's going to get it soon because he's just a top talent.
Yeah,
and there's talk of him going in the Sweden squad for the Euros as well. He's not played any first team football, but they're talking about him to get him in. So, yeah, the world's his oyster at the moment.
Do you think I mean, I don't want to get ahead of anything here. Is he going to suffer, or might he just have to be understudy to Marcus Rashford if he's on the left-hand side, or can he move about? Because, I mean, Marcus is still a very young man. He's got at least 8 years left in him at the top level. I mean, injuries can happen. You can get a chance through that. But do you see Elanga being a sort of a plan B for Marcus rather than someone who's going to get in the first team?
It's hard to say because I wouldn't compare him as similar players. They are different. Maybe he's, in the future he'd be the best person for that game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, we've had it, haven't we, with great United teams. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when I was growing up, you had Lee Sharp and Ryan Giggs who could both play left wing. It was just that that was the way it was, and we still managed to get a lot of games out of them. When you look at someone like Nicky Butt, he was in a team that had Paul Scholes and Roy Keane ahead of him, yet he still managed to play lots of games for Manchester United. So you can have different options who can play in the same position. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen for him. He's obviously a very good talent. He's just signed a deal on any deal, as mentioned earlier. And I wish him well. It'd be great if he does go to the Euros for his country.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
It's nice to see because he's every time he plays, his mum and his family are there watching him. They're supportive of him, and so I really hope he works out for him. If he goes to the Euros, that'd be amazing for him. Amazing experience.
Hopefully, big things to come for Mr. Elanga. What else have you got for us?
So the under-18s played on Saturday against Stoke at Carrington. Did pretty good, to be honest.
All right, didn't they?
Yeah, all right. Just the 6 goals.
Just the 6 goals for me last night.
Yeah. So first goal, McNeil plays it into Garnacho. He slots it away 1-0. So just remember that. Garnacho got a goal, McNeil got an assist.
Right.
And then Hansen Aaron, who's dyed his... He's always been blonde, but he's dyed his hair like super blonde now. So
really?
Yeah.
Fair enough. If I had hair, I'd dye it blonde.
I wouldn't. Edge of the box, nice strike for 2-0. Stoke then will get one back. You're thinking, will he come back?
Yeah.
No. Forson gets in the box, does a 1-2 with Hugerworth, puts it low and hard for 3-1. And then very similar goal, Garnacho with McNeil 1-2, scores a goal. So Garnacho, McNeil assist again.
Yeah.
Hugerworth then in the second half steals a ball on the edge of the box on the right, plays it into Charlie McNeil. He just the most casual Berbatov-esque, just puts it away. Yeah. For his second, and then McNeil again to Garnacho gets his hat trick. So he scored a hat trick, and McNeil assisted every one of them, which is amazing. And now, do you remember a lad he might have scored yesterday called Mason Greenwood. He was from the...
Never heard of him, mate.
But anyway, he was a lad from the academy, you see.
Right, okay. Right, okay.
And in his prolific season when he was... luckily, I went to every game and he was amazing.
Yeah.
He scored 16 goals in 18 games.
Right.
And it was amazing.
That's not a bad return.
Charlie McNeil now has scored 16 goals in 16 games.
Well, Mason who? That's all I can say, eh? Move over, Mason. Well, that's obviously, I'm joking. That's great to see. I mean, I remember you going on about Mason Greenwood, and a lot of people were when he was just banging him in every week.
It was
like,
ridiculous.
This kid is just, even by academy standards, there's something very, very special about him. Do you get that vibe from McNeill? Do you feel like that with McNeill?
It's hard to say. What's really annoyed me is that I've not been there to watch it because you get a different perspective. You know, at the side of the pitch, watching. He's honestly amazing talent, goal scorer, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's the same player as Mason.
Yeah,
they score goals in different ways. And
do you think that because you were pretty quick with Mason to say this is someone who's going to get into the first team, who's going to be a star sort of thing? And I know you don't say that lightly because you've seen a lot of academy players and you're very good at saying this kid might make it. This one, you'll have to wait and see. This one, definitely. And you were like that with Mason. Do you get that same feeling? I know different players. Do you feel like with McNeill, you're looking at someone you expect to go all the way to the top?
It's very possible. I mean, this is his first season for United as well. I mean, next season's going to be a big test. It's whether he has stepped up to the 23s, but maybe step up to that regular basis. And if he's doing it there as well. But then again, Mason didn't play that many games for the 23s, and also Rashford didn't play that many. I think he played 3 or 4.
Rashford almost leapfrogged it, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? He leapfrogged a lot, Marcus, because I think with Mason there was always an element of we expect him to get to the first team. We expect him. It's not a case of the jury's out. It's like a case of sort of when, not if, he's going to make it into the first team. And I think it was at Cardiff, his Premier League debut. He was still 17 when he's made his Premier League debut when we got beat off Cardiff, I think. I
can't think of the
you want to put it out of your mind because it's one of the worst performances by a Manchester United team I've ever seen in my life. But there was always expectation, wasn't there? Marcus did it a sort of a different way, and some people were questioning, is he going to be good enough? Gets his debut and just absolutely smashes it. So maybe, with Charlie McNeill, it's a bit of sort of a different route, and maybe he has to be a little bit more patient because, like you say, there's obviously opportunities for these youngsters with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United as a manager, but especially as an attack, it's not one way you can just get thrown in straight away unless, like you say, like I've just said, Mason Greenwood or Marcus Rashford scenario. The
problem is as well, is that like Mason, he's a centre forward. We're playing him out on the right because we've got no one else to play there. So although I think he did brilliant yesterday, with the way he got the goal on the right, and then he's obviously assist. The fact that he's out there, not in the centre, is a bit disheartening. Obviously, he did play in the centre against Granada, but didn't really do much, did he, really, to be fair to him. But Charlie McNeill, he's a centre forward as well. They can't really put him on the right. Mason can do the job on the right. I'm not sure yet if McNeill could do that. So this is the problem with these. There's not 2 strikers anymore. It's just one up front.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good point. And eventually I expect Mason to be our striker. I do. I think, like you say,
McNeill and.
Well, I love that.
McNeill and Mason.
Can we not do that? Whatever happened to 4-4-2? Do you remember that? That used to be the thing. Or I don't know.
We won a treble with that, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, you can do 3-5-2 or something. Just put 2 up top and let's have McNeill and Mason banging him in every week. Great to see him scoring goals and getting assists as well, man.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he scored 2 goals and 3 assists, the fact that we're talking about Charlie McNeill and not Garnacho who scored the hat-trick.
Yeah,
I know amazing scoring a hat-trick, but McNeill's just stealing the show at the moment. And like I say, he's 16 in 16 is just ridiculous. I mean, if he gets more, he's obviously going to beat Mason's record.
Who do you think's closer to the first team, McNeill or Hugill?
It's a tough one because Hugill's obviously been playing with he's same age, but he's been playing 23s, which is obviously tougher against tougher opponents. And McNeill's been in the 18s, but it's all about goals, isn't it? And McNeill's been scoring them. Hugill has, at the moment, I'd say McNeill's slightly ahead.
Yeah. Do you think physically is that the case, or?
I think Hugill's more physical. He's bigger, and that's I think probably why he's in the 23s.
Yeah.
But I mean, the future's bright, isn't it?
And I'm not trying to make this like, Martial versus Rashford, or I'm just curious as to, because I hear so many good things about both of these players. You're always raving about them. You can see, if you're into stats, you can see the stats speak for themselves. They just score goals for fun, and I'm just curious because, like you say, the chances of them both getting into the squad at the same time, or both getting a debut at the same time, are very limited. Ollie's probably gonna have a decision to make sooner or later as to which one he gives the nod to, and I'm just curious as to who that might be. I mean, either one, it's good news.
Like you mentioned with the 4-4-2. We used to have 4 strikers, remember? And we could have 4. Mason, McNeil, Hugill and Rashford.
Think about it, right? It's mad, that 99 season, isn't it? No. 4 strikers. And yet
all scoring.
All scoring. And yet the one who played like the fewest games is the one, or the 2 that played the fewest games are the ones that get the glory.
Because he scored them. Because none of them other goals or games mattered. It was that 3 minutes.
I mean, Dwight York scored 29 goals that season, but it's all about the one.
Didn't Andy Cole against Tottenham as well to win the league?
Yeah. Andy Cole
People
wins.
Forget that.
Yeah. Don't worry about that, eh? You want to get to the one against Bayern Munich. So hopefully we can have 4 strikers chomping at the bit. It's looking pretty good for us long term, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, forward wise, it's. I don't think we need to look anywhere really. People talking about Cavani leaving at the end of the season, maybe bringing someone else in. But I think if we didn't bring anyone else in, we'll be all right. It might not work straight away, but I think the next 5 years or so, it's going to be.
Do you think that's an option that Ollie could consider? Because I mean, a lot of the fans will lose their minds, and I get that. But if Cavani went, do you think Mason next season could be ready to be our main striker?
It's been funny because this season when he has been up front, he's not been great really. But last season he was just banging goals for fun. Maybe this season it's a bit more pressure on his shoulders, but if he gets a good run of scoring a few goals, I think he'd do it easily. But it's about getting that kickstart.
Yeah, I think he has had a little bit of second season syndrome, but his performances recently have been very good.
Yeah, even though he's not scoring, you should still say he's playing well.
Yeah, I agree, and also he's big banging a few goals in recently as well. I think. Not prolific like he was in his first season, but beginning to get on the score sheet, which is great to see in a player like that. You want to see him getting goals because that's what they're about. We'll move on. What have you got for us next?
So
loanees, yes.
Talking of forwards, we'll now talk about a midfielder who's just been on fire, called James Garner.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. Currently at loan on
loan. At loan.
One of them
at loan on Forest.
Yeah. At Nottingham Forest. They beat QPR 3-1.
Big
and
game.
He scored a goal.
Big
I think
result.
he's got 3-3 now.
I'm not going to be melodramatic about James Garner, but I reckon he's the best player Forest have ever had.
I think you might be right. Roy Keane coming second.
Yeah.
Did you see his goal? So
yes, I did.
Was
it Friday?
Yeah,
Good Friday.
It was that free kick from like the edge of the what would you call it? Where you take a throw in? What's the edge of the pitch?
How many football matches you've been to? You've been to about 1,000, probably more.
I know, but
the edge of the pitch, yeah.
You know what I mean.
The line, that thing at the end.
Yeah, where the linesman runs up and down.
Yeah, that bit.
He has a free kick from there. It loops over the keeper. Nice goal, really. He's claiming he meant it. So if he claims,
why would you not believe him?
I do believe he said it, so I believe him. But a lot of people are saying he's not. But he said it.
Jealous and stupid.
So, like I say, he's on fire at the moment.
I mean, he's not even just about the goals, is he? I know he can get goals, but he's more than that.
He's playing amazingly, and I think Forest want to buy him, really.
Fucking bet they do.
But I don't want.
No,
I want him. He's a United player.
He's done it the right way as well. He's been sort of gradually coming up, and then he's gone on loan. He's smashed it. They were comparing him to Sergio Busquets, weren't they, the other week? Sergio Busquets never really got any goals though, so he's probably better than Busquets.
He's better
than him, yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you do the math. How many times has Sergio Busquets scored against QPR? Never. Think about that.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? See? So he's obviously tearing it up. They want to buy him. It'd be madness for Manchester United to sell James Garner, in my opinion. But
it could be another loan next season again.
Yeah.
You don't know, but pre-seasons will be going to be big for him. Someone scored a goal yesterday for the first team, but still not good enough, is he? So maybe he could take his role.
Someone scored a goal for the first team. Is that your way of saying Fred?
He nearly missed it as well.
I know.
It's about how close to it as he nearly missed it.
Listen,
but he scored it, and fair play to him.
We give players credit when they deserve it, and it's funny because the amount on my timeline that was slagging him off just before he got that goal. It was just Fred, get Fred off. Fred, oh, he's the worst player I've ever seen. Fred, oh, Fred's a midfielder. I'm a giraffe. And then he scores. Everyone's like, I've always rated him.
No, I don't rate him, but he scored a
Fair
goal.
enough.
He scored a goal, and we got us back in the game.
Okay.
Then we talk about Ethan Laird.
Ethan Laird.
He played 90 minutes like he always does now in a 0-0 against Ipswich, which Skayman watched.
Yeah, producer Cal is an Ipswich fan. Glory hunter.
He said it was a boring game.
That's because he's boring, isn't it?
But he said that all the attack that MK Dons had came through Ethan Laird, and he looked good.
Really?
And I take his word on it. Cause
Right,
he's
okay. Well,
right.
he might be, a bit of an animal, but he's a football expert.
Yeah.
So we'll listen to producer Cal. The thing with Ethan Laird, it's not just about performances. I mean, obviously that matters, but it's about him getting minutes in it because
he's
of
getting
the injury
plenty
record.
of minutes there. He's smashing it really. But he's like I say, he's playing as a wing back or wing foot. I don't even know what they call him these days. He's not defending as much, I don't think.
Yeah.
So
they're not wingers, are they? They're not fullbacks.
No.
Wing backs is probably the right term. But
so I mean, he could be an option in the future as someone who could play on the right for us because maybe not starting each game, but someone who, if we need him to play on the right, and if we need if Wan-Bissaka hurts himself, he can play there as well. So
what we need is a combination of the two. Like, because Wan-Bissaka is just perfect defensively. Not great going forward. Ethan Laird's just fantastic going forward.
But I think Ethan Laird's a good defender.
He
as
has
well.
actually a good defender, you're right. So maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka might have
Come on, Aaron.
bit of an
Out the
issue,
way, mate.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
You can't do
We'll
that.
have to wait
but
and see.
yeah, we'll have to wait. Like I say, pre-season will be big for him because
Tell you one thing though, Ethan Laird's got a lot of confidence. I know we bet if he did get into the United squad, he wouldn't be like, oh, well, I've got no chance of making the first team.
Well, he's self-critical as well. The amount of times where I've been at the 18s or the 23s, and he goes over to his dad. His dad's the top guy, and he's like, "We've won the game," but he'll say, "Dad, I messed up there," and he's very.
But I like that.
Yeah, I do as
You know
well.
what I mean? Because you're right. He is self-critical. It's a fair point. But he's obviously got that talent. He wants to get better, and he has belief as well. You got to have the belief at this level, and that's what you got to admire about him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've always rated him. Like I say, him and Williams I've always rated together because they came up together. So fingers crossed for him. He carries on doing well.
Are you surprised, Dave, that it's been Williams who's had so many first-team games and not Laird, or do you think that's just injuries?
Yeah, it's injuries, yeah. And obviously Williams hasn't been playing much because obviously Luke Shaw's been doing well going forward. I still think he's a bit suspect going back, but at the moment everyone's happy with him going forward, so that's why Williams not been playing. And like with the 23s, Williams played at right back because him and Laird used to switch constantly. One would be right back, one would be left back, and then they confuse the wingers and swap over. So, yeah, they both can play in both positions.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. Sounds like the future's bright when it comes to the full-back positions. Who else have you got for us?
Tahith Chong.
Your old mate.
Mate. He's a good guy, nice guy.
FC Bruges. He's still doing well there.
He came on the 81st minute in a 2-1 loss to Anderlecht. So
That doesn't sound very
no,
good, does it? Yeah.
he got a bit of 10 minutes or so. But
10 minutes. Get him on earlier, then you won't lose 2-1.
They would have won 3-2, wouldn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. He's had a patchy-ish first-team stroke loan career, hasn't he? It didn't really happen for him when he got his cameos at United in the first team.
He talked about this before, but I just think he needs consistent games.
And then he went to Werder Bremen, didn't he? Good start, tailed off a bit. Gone to FC Bruges. Seems to doing okay. I think a lot depends on sort of how this pans out, doesn't it, really?
Yeah,
whether he's going to come back to United and have any sort of chance of getting into that first team.
It could be like a Jesse Lingard where he needs multiple loans for a few years.
It's very slight, isn't it?
How old was Lingard when he made his debut? 24 for us?
23, I think.
Yeah.
You might be right, mate. He'd been around a lot, and he'd done the rounds in loads.
So maybe Chong's going to be someone like that, and I won't give up on him yet or anything like that, because a lot of people they're saying, he wasn't good enough for the first team. He's not doing great on loan. I mean, he's doing all right. He's scoring goals now and again, and I just think give him a bit more time. I still think he's a class player.
No, I agree to a certain extent. I mean, you've seen a lot more of him than I have. My only sort of criticism of Tahith Chong is when I've seen him, he's mainly been for the first team and he hasn't done out.
Yeah.
And I know there's mitigating circumstances there because he's coming on for 10 minutes in a game, and this is when crowds were there as well, so there's a lot of pressure. But he's just not really done much for me. But you've seen, as I said earlier, you've seen him in the academy levels, and there's obviously a reason why he was so spoken about, so highly spoken about, so hyped up. obviously an immensely talented lad, and I hope it does work out for him. I hope he silences a lot of the doubters, even like myself. Silences us and shows us that we were wrong. Any more?
Yeah, just what I mentioned before we mentioned the others is Deschamps Bernard at Salford, still not playing now.
What's going on there? Is Gary Bowyer just not fancy him?
I don't know if he's. I've tried to look into it. I don't think he's injured. I just think that he's gone. He was a lone player, so he's not a part of our future. We're not playing him.
Well, recall him then.
I think
like he's not going to Salford to train with Salford. He's going out to play football matches for the first team, and he's not getting first team matches. Just bring him back.
He was playing every game. They were playing like a back three. He was the central centre back, and he's playing every game. And now Richie Wellens has gone, and he's not playing. I
mean, let's have it right as well. I know where you think, the manager got sacked, so they must have been terrible. Salford weren't having a bad season. They were doing quite well.
They won a trophy as well.
Won a trophy, and he was a big part of their success. So it seems odd that it's like he's gone from a regular player to not playing at all. I get you're a new manager. I get that you look at it and you can go, well, he's a loanee. Like you said, he's not one of the players that I can sort of focus on for the future. But it does seem a little bit strange. And if that is Gary Bowyer's choice, which, it obviously is, if that's how he feels about it, then just get him back. Bring him back to Old Trafford.
It's mad, really. Maybe I don't know if we could do like the dual loan thing where you still come and play for the 23s and then you can stay with Salford kind of thing. Maybe something like that would help him out at the moment.
I don't like it as well because for his confidence as well.
No, you don't, because the thing is, if someone gets an injury now at Salford, he'll be back in it hopefully, and then it's good football for him to play.
It just feels for me, and I'm not a Salford fan. I'm one of the few United fans that don't actually care about Salford, even though I live in Salford. I've never watched them before. Gary Neville bought him. I'm not going to start now. But I just feel like if he's a player like who was part of that Salford team, the manager gets sacked, and then he's dropped. I don't want him to start thinking, well, what's going on? Am I part of the reason that the manager got sacked? Am I not good enough for this team? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want his confidence to take a knock or him to feel like it's his fault in any way, because obviously it's not, and he's doing very well there. I just think United need to look at that. We need to say, right, okay, have a word with Gary Bowyer. If you don't want him, fine, but we'll bring him back then and just get him training amongst the Manchester United first team, because he's got some experience there in a tough league as well, and he can use that experience. And it's probably better. It would be better if he was playing for Salford rather than United's under 23s. But if that is,
if he's not playing for Salford, it's better than playing for the 23s and nothing at all, isn't it?
100%, mate.
So then move on to Ted and Mengi, another centre-back.
Oh, yes.
He played 90 minutes for Derby County. Wayne Rooney's Derby County.
Wayne Rooney, that's the official name of Derby County now. They've changed it.
In a 1-0 loss to Norwich. But he played 90 minutes. He's a young kid. He's playing centre-back in the Championship. Listen, 90. You don't get many young defenders playing 90 minutes in the Championship. So
no, you don't at all. Tough league, the Championship. But good league as well. It's good standard. Do you know what I mean? And also, let's not forget, Norwich are absolutely tearing it up. There's talk of Norwich being the greatest ever Championship team.
I think they need, 3 more points and then the promoted.
Which, what we in April, which is ridiculous. Like I said, I know it's people being melodramatic and, a bit of hyperbole, but people are saying this is one of the greatest Championship sides of all time. So there's no shame in losing to them whatsoever.
And, he's still super young and he's got plenty more years to carry on. I mean, once again, I keep bringing it up, but pre-season is going to be important to find out whether he's going to be that involved in the first team or another loan is needed. But the fact he's playing 90 minutes in the Championship, I'm happy with that.
I'm more than happy with that as well. And he's a player that a lot of people were talking about, weren't he? Even I saw people say, get him in now in the first team, give him a chance and all that sort of stuff. He's not ready for Manchester United first team yet. That's not a criticism. I just think that we have to be realistic here.
I think you can play him in certain games, but I don't think he's playing the whole league, all season. So I think a loan's good for it. Like maybe next season, maybe a Premier League loan somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. We've loaned players out to other Premier League clubs this season, haven't we?
This season, I think.
Didn't we loan someone to David Moyes' West Ham? I think I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Hesse.
Yeah, Hesse Lingard. Yeah, not really worked out for him there, though, has it?
No,
so
he's been really poor.
Really poor, embarrassing. Actually, he's embarrassed himself, and Manchester United Football Club should be ashamed. So maybe it is a move that could work. Yeah, any more for any more?
Yeah, we always finish on Jacob Carney.
You love Jacob Carney, don't you?
Well, I like a good goalkeeper.
I know, and I like the fact we're keeping the tabs on him.
You know, he's playing 90 minutes, keeping clean sheets, and they win 1-2-0 against Carrick, and that's not Michael Carrick. That's
Michael Carrick, playing against Portadown on his own.
Yeah. 2-0, and like I say, every time I speak to people about him or, you know, read up about him, they're all very impressed with him, saying he's playing in a physical league and he's bossing his area and he's making great saves. So I'm happy for him.
Do you think there could be a chance for him on the bench next season?
It's hard. It really is hard because
if David De Gea goes, which everyone expects him to,
still people like Matty Kovar still, Nathan Bishop,
who keeps getting on the bench, doesn't he, for the Europa?
So I don't know if Kovar's injured. I think that's why he's not involved. Okay. But yeah, we've got a lot of goalkeepers, but Jacob's been there for years, so I think there'll be more people wanting him to do. You know, it's always nicer for someone who's been there since we were 9 to play for the first team than it is someone who bought him when they were 20.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed. You know, he's not putting a foot wrong at the moment. He's doing well, so it could happen for him. He's still pretty young, so he's still plenty of time for him.
It's how you look at goalkeepers as well, isn't it? Because if you're playing well at that level, in theory, you know, you're saving shots, you're commanding your area. When you get older, you'll be able to do it at a higher level. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, but certainly want to keep an eye on, as you always do. Dave, is that it then? You always end with him, don't you? So I thought it would be.
On a high.
On a high, yes. Hey. Dave, what's coming up on the agenda? What's on the horizon for the under-23s and under-18s?
That's something I forgot to look at.
Well, that's fine.
But we'll. I'm pretty sure we're playing on Friday and 23s, and then Saturday the 18s.
Does any sort of idea when you're going to be allowed to go and watch them again? Is that
nope?
Is that anything on the horizon?
Nothing.
Is it the same as it is for the first?
I've got a feeling that we won't be allowed to watch the 18s again. I think 23s.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Really?
I think they'll use this as an excuse not to let people in at Carrington.
That's a shame, isn't it? Because it's nice for the kids I'd love people there and for you to go and watch them as well.
That's just my theory, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that I get to go back because I always love going to Carrington watching the 18s. It's just great to see them there play.
It is, mate. I love listening to you telling us. I know you do it anyway without going to the ground, but it's always good when you've been there and you fill us in on what's going on and the players to keep an eye on. So it is a bit of a shame. Hopefully, you'll be able to get back sooner rather than later. Dave, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at David J. Pritt and on Instagram, David Pritt without the J.
Like a bit of the old Insta there. Swipe ups and all that. And
I'm not.
Oh,
I can't.
I can't either. No, look at me.
Yeah,
Paddock can. I can't. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't do swipe.
It's the big shot here.
10,000. I haven't got that. All I do on Instagram is post pictures of me running face and my kids. So everyone's going to be bored if they're trying to look for anything exciting.
On a hoverboard as well.
Oh, right. Enough of that. Yes. Everyone's seen that, you know.
I know, it's great.
I chatted to a journalist the other day who was wanting to get on the Table 1 podcast, and he mentioned it. I'm like, how do you don't even follow me? Right. Anyway, you know where to find Dave. Go and check him out. He's always doing good stuff around the academy and the 23s and all that, keeping you in the loop with all that stuff. You know where to find me. Make sure you're subscribing as well to the channel. We'll have loads of great content coming up. We'll be looking at the first team as always, looking ahead to the Granada game, and also we'll have all the podcasts and all that other good stuff as well. Check out the members section if you've not done either. I've been Jay Marty. That's been Dave Pritt. This has been the Academy Review. Thanks for watching.